Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be on here today. My name is Tammy Anderson Ward, and I'm the Energy Healing Conference producer. And welcome to our page today here. I am so excited because I, first of all, get to share some exciting announcements with you. The first one is that we have a huge giveaway in place for one really awesome entrepreneur that deals with the health and wellness and mindset, mind, body, spirit, anything like that. This could be for a chiropractor, a hypnotherapist, somebody who is a foot zone practitioner, somebody who does reflexology. It could be somebody who is in school right now for massage therapy or any of those kind of things. We're looking forward to finding somebody who is wanting to develop their business skill set and to be able to attract clients that are going to be ideal clients for them. So this person is going to win several different things. The first one is they are going to get 4 tickets to any upcoming conference of their choice. They're also going to get 2 private business mentoring sessions with me. And if you don't know yet by now, I want to share with you, I've been doing private sessions with people since 2015 to help with business, mindset. I do energy healing. I do foot zones. I actually do proxy foot zones as well. I love being able to help people to be able to just take a different perspective, different angle, different look on things. I don't want to call myself necessarily a life coach because I haven't had specific certifications or training on life coach. Think of me like a best friend that you just get somebody to talk to. It's just so nice to be able to get some ideas with different mindset, right? So it's going to be so exciting. You also are going to get a ticket to the business boot camp on September 19th. That's in Layton, Utah. You get tuition to the online fall business mentoring series, which is a 7-week series where we dive into things like digital advertising, Facebook, getting scheduling. We'll teach you what you need to know, how to set up a YouTube channel, whatever it is that you're wanting help with. So that you'll get tuition to that as well. And then also tuition to our money class, which is all about money mindset. We'll be teaching about money affirmations, all kinds of really cool stuff. And the person who is going to win this is valued at over $1,300. And we're just so excited to be able to offer this contest. And it's something that we've done similar things in the past before. And people, when they come back, they're like, that changed everything for me. So even though it says $1,300, it's valued at even more than that. So I wanted to make sure that you guys know about that. I'm going to go ahead and drop in the comments here really quick the link on how to enter that if that's something that you're interested in doing. Okay. So now you know where to go for that one. The next announcement, I've had people asking me, hey, how do I get tickets to the Pocatello conference? And Dr. John Harmon is here with us today. I am so excited. He and I were chatting just yesterday about this particular conference, the Pocatello conference. So I'm going to go ahead and share the link with you just here in the comments so you can find it really easily. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. And I'm excited. I'm like, I have so many questions that I want to ask him about what he has and what they're doing and what's going to be happening at the booth. So if you have already been introduced to LifeWave or quantum physics, quantum healing, you're going to want to stay tuned for this and be here to also ask questions as well. You can also drop comments down in the questions as well. So let's go ahead, and without further ado, let's go ahead and bring on Dr. John Harmon. How are you?
Hi, Tammy. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
So good. I'm so happy to have you on today. Thank you for being here. And if you are watching right now, please go ahead and welcome Dr. John Harmon to our virtual stage here with us today. And also, please feel free to ask questions in the chat. I'm watching. We're across 3 different platforms right now. We're on YouTube, Facebook, on our business page, and then also over on the group as well. So lots of people will be able to watch this in the coming days. I'm excited. All right, Dr. John Harmon, your bio is so freaking long and amazing. I love it. I actually included a whole thing in its entirety here so that people can read it if they would like to, if they're coming back to it and they can learn more about it. But what I want to say about your bio before I read it is I would like to invite other people who have worked with you to give you a shout out as well, or to just give us some feedback. But one thing I know about you is that not only do you have all of these credentials and all of these alphabet behind your name, which I don't even know what they mean, I'll be honest. But you're so personable and you're so real and you're so fun and you really are very caring. And that's what really means the most to me.
Thank you very much, Tammy. Yeah, those the alphabet numbers,
What do they mean? Tell me.
Alphabet letters, sorry. There are things that, certifications that, I'm just trying to help people over the years. And I always had the attitude, if I learned one thing at a conference that helped one person, then it was worth doing that. Ironically, I don't do a lot of those things in my practice anymore because of the shift that I went through back in 2010, 2011, and there forward, I went up to brain. I don't do oxidative medicine anymore. That's healing with ozone and other things, and IVs and things like that. I don't do chiropractic anymore because of the shift that happened, and so those are in the past, and the more pertinent things have to do with the brain stuff. My being board certified in quantitative EEG. That's the electrical balance in the brain, or imbalance. Mm-hmm. And then knowing what it means and then how to fix it. And that's what we do now. I don't know if you put in there that I was the marbles champion of my school.
I don't know if that was in there, actually.
That's more important.
That's what
learning how to use your hands, but thank you, and it's great being here. I love this whole energy healing conference. I early on, when I was in actually chiropractic college, when we were having to learn all the sciences in school, I was flying around the country learning all about bioenergetic synchronization technique. That was more interesting to me back then, and now I'm using frequencies in several different ways. One, we use frequencies to gently nudge the neurons in the brain to wake them up in the primitive brain. That's where that fight or flight is, and that's the thing that gets really overactive. So we use picowatts of power of delta waves. That's trillions of a watt. So that's very, very imperceptible. A person cannot feel the electrical current going into the brain, but a lot of times they feel the effect of saying to your primitive brain, it's okay, you don't need to do that anymore. You don't have to be stuck in fight or flight with increased heart rate, increased adrenaline, anxiety, because that all comes as a package when that system gets activated. I mean, think about it. If you're running from a tiger, you better be anxious or you're going to die, and you better have hypervigilance, and your brain's going 1,000 miles an hour because something's coming at me, and I gotta protect myself.
Wait, what did you just say? If a tiger is chasing you?
Well, metaphorically speaking, if a tiger is running after you, there are certain things that have to happen. Well, what are those? Anxiety. You got a tiger coming at you.
Can I tell you why I was asking about that really quick? I did an appointment this morning and I was under hypnosis, and literally a tiger was chasing me at one point. And I'm like, wait, what did he just say? Like, that was so cool. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just like, the very fact that you use that visual And that imagery, and it literally just happened to me maybe an hour ago.
Oh my gosh,
That's
crazy.
So
that's
really cool.
It's a system that's in place to deal with emergencies coming at us on the outside. There's also a system that's built to handle emergencies on the inside. Oh my gosh, there's food in the stomach. We got to do something. It's a big emergency. It's going to rot. We got to process it and get it fixed or get it taken care of. Or, hey, there's bacteria in my bloodstream. I got to attack, or other things on the inside. Those are part of the autonomic nervous system, but they're separate and they cannot fire at the same time fully. They can't work 100%. I guarantee your mom said this to you at some point. Tammy, don't go swimming right after you
eat. Yeah, she definitely did say that.
Moms knew, because you can't have the sympathetic nervous system overactive. You can't get oxygen out to your muscles if you're trying to digest food, because all of the blood is shunted around your digestive tract. So you'll have less oxygen, and therefore you will cramp. So moms were right. That is the system that gets off and gets overactive when we have these emotional traumas, head trauma, chemical exposure. The body goes, holy cow, something's happening. All hands on deck. I need your help. Here's the problem. Sometimes it stays partially on. And now I'm just sitting here. My heart is pounding. I have anxiety. It's not appropriate when you're just sitting there doing nothing. It is when you're running away from a tiger, but not when you're sitting there. So this is called anxiety. And then all kinds of different brain regulations start to happen. What we do in my practice, and I'll tell you also why we incorporated these patches. What we do in my practice is we hook little electrodes up to the scalp in different spots, and it sends in these pulses of delta waves, and that's what runs the brainstem. And it essentially untrains the brainstem from the faulty pattern that it's stuck in, so that then it can just start operating normally. It's kind of like rebooting your software in a way. And sometimes it happens rather quickly. People say some funny things if they've had anxiety for 40 years and all of a sudden that feel-good part of the nervous system comes on. Whoa, I don't know what to do with this. So now that's brain, right? Slow me down if you want me to not talk about this or want to ask a question.
Well, I'm just really enjoying your conversation here. Yeah, this is
I
really
love talking about it. So, all right. So you got a situation where the brain is dysregulated. Now I have anxiety, or I might have depression, even weird things like, an emotional experience. We've had several patients, young and older, actually start wetting the bed after an emotional experience. And so we're able to regulate the brain out of that as well. Chronic pain, seizures, tremors, all kinds of things that happen in the brain. So along comes this patch, and they did a 6-week brain study with the quantitative EEGs that I used to do in my office that we don't have to do anymore. So what they did is they measured the electrical activity in the brain, had people use that patch for 6 weeks. Lo and behold, at the end of the study, everybody had better cognition and better brain regulation. So we added these into helping us check the boxes for people with their brains. And that is the photobiomodulation patch called the X39. It elevates stem cells as well, but that it's kind of a roundabout way in that it first elevates a peptide in the blood that then turns on your stem cell factory. But one of the other effects of that peptide is that it's really good for brains.
So can I ask a couple questions here really quick?
Sure.
So I was just listening to this book by Brene Brown yesterday, and she's a researcher, right? But she studies social things. And she's one of my favorite authors. I absolutely love her stuff. And one of the comments that she made that is coming to my mind right now is she said, you don't really have anything if you don't have data. And I'm listening to you right now. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're learning about energy and frequency, they're like, show me the data, show me the research. I want to see it. And what you're telling me right now is that you actually do that in your office. You've seen the numbers change. You've seen the evidence. And I love that. I lean into.
Well, yeah. And the study was done not by me. It was done by researchers. And they do have that data. They do have the fact that it elevates that peptide in the bloodstream. This is why they were able to get the patent from the US Patent Office, because they were able to show that wearing the patch actually elevates that. It's called the GHK copper peptide. And that's why they got the patent on this technology.
That's amazing. So I love that because, you know, where I've personally been leaning into all of the evidence-based stuff so much more, you guys already have those third-party studies done. So tell us a little bit more. I'm like just really super intrigued and want to keep learning.
Okay, so we go back to the X39 stem cell activation patch. The peptide that gets elevated in the bloodstream was actually discovered in 1973 by a doctor named Dr. Laurent Picard. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten the Nobel Prize for it.
Wow.
And what they did is they put old liver cells in a petri dish. And then they put the GHK copper peptide, I'll explain the copper part, in with these old liver cells. It actually reversed the age of the old liver cells, and they started to act like young liver cells. They started making peptides and proteins like young liver cells do. So this is where it started way back in 73. And they said, there must be something to this anti-aging or reverse aging with the functions of this peptide. And so his website, I encourage you to go there. It has nothing to do with LifeWave or the X39. His website is called Reverse Aging with GHK.com. Reverse Aging with GHK.com. You'll find 6 categories on there. Only one of them is that peptide elevates your own stem cell production. But there are other things. It's anti-cancer. It's the #1 thing recommended to treat COPD. Do we treat COPD? No, we don't ever make any claims like that, but it has anti-cancer properties. It's good for COPD. It's good for hair, skin, and nail. It has actually done a lot of stuff for the gray hair that I used to have a lot more of. And there are some reverse aging things that happen when you increase that copper peptide. The copper is incorporated into this peptide, and it acts as a switch. Think of that as the thing that turns different pathways on. It uses that copper as a switch. It uses it to repair 4,200 of our genes. So this is another thing why it's so good at reverse aging. I literally feel 20 years younger than what I started when I started 2 years ago, and it has actually healed. And I have the documentation. I have before and after stress echocardiograms. Two different cardiologists have told me I've never seen a right bundle branch block heal. Really? And yet here I am with the evidence and with the testing. And here's the irony of that. I didn't even know I had it when I first started using these patches.
Are you serious?
So I tell people, if you start using them, you may have something that you don't even know you have, that you won't even know went away, because unless you did a test for it, you're not going to know. I would never have known I had a right bundle branch block unless I had that test. And it was because I had a surgery coming up, a knee replacement. So I did the test, and then a year and a half later, I get this right bundle branch block no longer present. And I go, you can't even imagine how huge that is for me and my family, because all-cause mortality goes up if you have a right bundle branch block. Not just heart issues, but all-cause mortality. So I feel really, really fortunate, needless to say, that I do not have that thing burdening me and my heart. And what was really weird is for years, I noticed when I would take my socks off at the end of the day, I would have this indentation where my socks were. Well, right bundle branch block. That is, once the blood comes back to the heart has to pump it out to the lungs. That's in the right ventricle. If you can't keep up with the blood that's coming back to your heart, what happens? It starts to back up. And it was backing up and swelling. I had swelling in my legs, in my calves, which I don't have anymore.
That's cool.
Yeah. So pretty life-changing for me. That's been my experience.
I love it. So now I know that you and Midge are going to be at the conference there. You're going to be speaking and teaching people about photobiomodulation.
Photobiomodulation, yes.
I had to see if I could get that word right. Tell us, what does that even mean? Like if you're and you don't know what that is.
We're going to be talking about that. Photobiomodulation is a big, all-encompassing term for healing with light. So photo, light, biomodulation. So we're doing something. So different frequencies of light have a different effect on our mitochondria, different photosensitive substances inside of our cells will actually be turned on or off, depending on if you wanted to turn off inflammation. So photobiomodulation, and I have lasers that I've used in my practice for years. So this is on a totally different level. And the level is this. As you sit there, as I'm standing here, our bodies are glowing. We just can't see it with the human eye. Mm-hmm. That bioluminescence is what David Schmidt, the inventor, captured in that power, the patch. So he figured out, and I want you to imagine, you go into a jewelry store and you go up to the diamond cabinet and you're looking at the diamonds and you're seeing yellow and green and blue and things. What are these colors? These diamonds aren't these colors. Well, what are those? Those are different frequencies that are getting refracted out by the diamond. So, but we're seeing blue. Our bodies emit visible light, but also far infrared and near infrared. So this is what the inventor figured out. What can I put in this patch that would form a new type of crystal that's never been invented before, that would only reflect back a frequency that would accomplish different things in the body? So he figured out what frequency turns back on our stem cell factory. That's the X39. I'm also going to be testing and having some people come up out of the audience. I'll be testing them to show them how quickly the patch works. It's like immediately with photobiomodulation. You know, how long does it take when you turn the light switch on for the light to show up? Yeah, it's light, it's instant. But there are properties with these copper peptides where they can actually form a Faraday cage inside of you to block 5G, 4G, and other EMFs that are all around us now, sometimes 20 feet from houses. You got a 5G tower going up. My advice to you, everyone on this call, is get this patch on your body because it blocks that from affecting your body. And I'm going to show that at the conference.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you also had described about how you're actually going to be testing people when they come up. It's different than just one muscle at a time. So would you take just a moment to talk about that? Because I think even people who are experienced energy practitioners are going to want to know about how that's a little bit different, why that works differently, and why it's a firmer, like more stronger case for why that is effective.
Yes, there are lots of different types of muscle testing. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at, for example, muscles of gait. I'll have somebody put their right arm and left leg in front. Those are muscles of gait. So left leg flexion, right arm flexion happen at the same time. Anybody who's just standing there, those muscles will be lock solid unless they have something internally going on already.
Yeah.
So then I'm going to show the effect of, for example, just their cell phone transmission on the muscles of gait, or the muscles, whatever muscle they would like me to test. And then I'm going to put the patch on, and the protection is instant. And this is what David Schmidt, the inventor, has told us. This patch elevates the AHK copper peptide in the bloodstream that acts like a Faraday cage. Here are the other things that it does. That same patch, studies coming out either this month or next month about how it reverses bone density loss.
Really?
It actually, yes, and actually increases muscle mass. The ability of particularly older people to actually build muscle again, and it increases stamina. So that's a different.
Are you talking like older as in 40s and older? Because like I know people
You're a youngster. I'm talking about 60-year-olds, 70-year-olds.
I know people my age that are concerned about muscle loss. Like if you have a back injury, for example, and you can't get out and exercise, you can't go to the gym, and you're trying to eat healthy, but then your muscles literally start to just shrink. And like my mom has osteoporosis, and other people that I know, their bones are literally like porous and shrinking. So when you
it's a big concern.
Yeah, when you measure them and they're like 5 foot 1 year, and then there's an inch shorter the very next year, like this is a big deal. This does affect people that we know and love. So tell us more about that.
Bone density increases in this study. The studies that have already been done are on, maintaining certain parameters. They've done measurements and their maximum of this and maximum of that, and measured their body, and then had them use the X49 over a period of time, keep the same workout routine, same diet and all that stuff. And these even older people have this muscle development. Now, I didn't do any measurements, but what I've noticed about myself is there's a six-pack under there now.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm 68.
What?
So, I mean, it's I've been able to actually, and I don't have measurements for it. It really wasn't something I was, wanting to prove to anybody. But what I've noticed about myself is that my workouts stayed the same, but I've been able to actually develop more muscle even at 68, and endurance. So there's a big jump in endurance and muscle retention and muscle building with that X49. That is the one that has been shown to be effective against blocking the EMFs coming into you, and the deleterious effect it has on your body. Because it's not about a muscle. The muscle is just an indication of what is going on biochemically inside of me that's making my muscles so weak. What is that? We could measure a bunch of different things, but I like simplicity, and most people don't really care about all the biochemistry, but they see this is protecting me and I want to protect myself.
Yeah. And so when you say protection, what kind of things what does that mean? So if somebody has no concept or idea at all of what, EMF even is, or 5G or anything like that, take just 1 minute to just talk about that, if that's okay.
Well, those frequencies have an effect on our cells. And if you've been to any of the, talks that I've done, I talk about how our skin, our cells actually have antennas on them. They are at the atomic level, but they look like Wi-Fi antennas. And this is what UV light does. I mean, how do we get from UV light to vitamin D? Well, the frequency of the UVB activates the antenna that's specific for turning on the pathway to make vitamin D. Other things affect those antennas. Other things affect our body, and they are frequencies. 5G, 4G, and all of those things have very harmful effects on our bodies. And there's more and more research coming out. A friend of mine is trying to prevent this locally, and it's a tough, Verizon and all those other companies have a lot of money. I don't think, my personal opinion is that that's a stone rolling downhill. We don't have enough money to prevent them from doing that. So all we can do is protect ourselves. And you wear a simple little patch. It's like a Band-Aid. It reflects back a certain frequency that activates a certain antenna in your skin. And then your body responds instantly with making different things that are needed to protect yourself or to fix things in your body. So that a little bit about the science, but each patch reflects back a different frequency into the body that affects your antennas a little bit differently.
That's awesome. I love it. So if, let's say somebody cannot come to the conference for whatever reason, it's in Pocatello, Idaho on October 8th. Let's say they can't come, but they're really intrigued by what you're talking about. They want to learn, they want to listen in more. Do you have a way for them to be able to do that?
Absolutely. In fact, I think, did Midge Woods put her email on there?
No, I have not seen that yet. Let me grab
Okay. Let's put her email in there. And I could look at my phone right now, but I'm not going to.
You're totally fine. I'll grab that. So you want me to put Midge's email up so they can contact her directly.
Yeah.
And then what will happen from there? They can ask questions. They can.
I can give you her phone number right now as well. It's 208-484-8124. She's the sponsor of my talk. And
okay, so it's 484-8124?
8124, correct. And you can, she'll actually send you a free patch, or you can stop by the booth and have me test you and also put one of those on your body and show you the difference.
Awesome. That is awesome. Sweet. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you're like, this is really important for you to know this?
Excuse me. Well, yes, the aging process marches on. You can either do something to stop it and potentially reverse it, or you can just let it march. And letting it march, then things just go the way they do. But here comes along, David Schmidt on the level of Nikola Tesla, who says his goal is not anti-aging. His goal is age reversal. And I look at some of my friends who have been using them for 2 years. I'm actually seeing it before my eyes. If you saw a picture of me 2 years ago, you would say the same thing, because our goal is reverse aging and keeping what we have healthy, reversing the age after it gets repaired so that we can look our best and feel our best. It's not necessarily about gray hair. It's about everything, all of our organs maintaining the function and maintaining our vitality and our productivity as we age. I look at just getting rid of a right bundle branch block. How much more productive am I going to be in 20 or 30 years because I don't have that anymore? So that, to me, that's something that's meaningful. A bunch of stats and figures on a page, those are cool, but to actually change somebody's future and their future health is a lot more meaningful to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it. Well, people who are on our page who are fascinated with the concept of frequency, they want to learn more. This just makes sense. I call it the quantum physics patch. I know that you're like, wait a minute, what? But to me, that's what it is, right? Like, it's huge. So
it is.
And you didn't just learn about this and now you're talking about it. You've been actually using this personally and in your practice now for, is it 2 years?
Actually, almost 2.5 years. It was end of March 2020 when I first started using it.
Awesome.
Didn't know I had a right bundle branch block.
Yeah.
Didn't notice really many changes for 2.5 months. And then I started getting some gut repair, lifelong battle with gut problems. it was at 4.5 months that the PDCs that I had went away. And that's actually why I went in and had the stress echo. 2 weeks after I had it done, those went away. And then sometime over the next 1.5 years, between the stress echoes, the right bundle branch block went away.
That's pretty amazing. I love hearing stuff like this. Well, even if somebody's just like stressed overall and they're looking for something just to even help them.
You mean like everybody?
Yeah, that's like literally what I'm saying. But like, I love how, like, when you're talking about the 5G thing, that you can actually see the quantifiable, it's not even, you can't even just see it with muscles. Like, you can even use pieces of technology where you can actually see it being
Yeah.
effective.
And that's how they did the testing on this patch. There are markers that show up in the blood, and especially electrosensitive people. Some of you people may resonate with you right now. Electrosensitive, that's a new diagnosis. The government of Australia will actually send somebody to your house to measure the EMF exposure in your house and show you how to mitigate it. I've had patients who over the years could not get on my table if it were plugged in. So
Really?
electrosensitive people have more of those bad chemicals show up in their body when they're exposed to EMFs. But that is what we're testing for, because you get chemical changes inside your body that cause muscle changes.
I love it. That's awesome. All right. Is there anything else that you'd like to finish with? I just went ahead and put Midge's email in. I also put her phone number in.
That's awesome. I'd just like to meet everybody. Come up and say hi and have me test you at the conference. I might pull you out of the audience if you raise your hand, and like in the 2nd grade teacher like that. And pull people up out of the audience. I'd like to meet everybody. I enjoy, if you have any deeper, questions about the patches, I've taken up on myself to kind of learn all that stuff so I can put it in a form that we can all understand, not just, quantum physics guys. So yeah, definitely come up and introduce yourselves.
I love that. You really are kind of like an energy interpreter. You're like, take it from all these complex words and just make it so that everybody can understand it. You don't have to have these big fancy degrees to get it. And I love that.
No.
I also just want to comment really quickly, because people who maybe don't know you personally, they may not understand. You have literally, is it 8 kids?
8 kids in 2 steps, so 10. And then 24 grandkids.
24 grandkids. We got to update your bio because those numbers have definitely changed since we put them up on the website. But like, you're such a real personable guy, but you also have all of this experience and data and information that you can apply to people right away, something that they can do from their own home. I also just want to say, I've come to know you and what a caring guy you really are. And
thank you, Danny. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
that's meaningful to me coming from you.
Yeah, well, I mean it. And the other thing is, I know that what led you down this path was, it wasn't like big bucks or anything like that, but instead you had some family things that happened and you were looking for answers for the people that you care about the most. And I feel like that's a long way.
We had some pretty awful things happen in a very short period of time. And that's what motivated me to go find things to fix brains. That is true. And yet another crime show was here from England a few weeks ago, interviewing me and my daughter again. It seems like a lot of people want to know about it. So they're telling it once again. It'll be on A&E.
Mm-hmm.
So First Look TV came over from England a few weeks ago and interviewed us for the program called A&E. I don't know when it's going to be on, but yeah, it was that. It wasn't actually anything else. I was trying to find things to fix my own younger daughter's brains, which led me on this path.
I feel like that's just so cool that you cared so much and that you've really just taken that huge extra initiative. So it's a really big deal. I'm excited to have you at the conference once again. Thank you so much for your time today.
I'm excited to be there. Thank you.
For your expertise and your heart. I really appreciate you. Thanks again.
You bet, Tammy. It's great chatting with you.
Yep. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys. Well, I just really love that guy. He is awesome. Can you believe he's 68? Like, I don't know if I had this idea in my mind of what a 68-year-old man looked like, but it was not that. Like, woo! My hat's off to you, to his wife. Like, that's awesome. And I have got to get my husband to keep going on these paths. I want him around for a long time, having that endurance and that stamina, and he's like so happy, and he's just like such a carefree guy. He's so cool. Yeah, I am so happy to see you too. Thanks, Callie. I appreciate you. He does the rejuvenation. Yeah, he definitely does. That's awesome. One other thing I just wanted to add is like when you come to the conference, I don't know about you, but one thing that I've learned is like it's really important to have human connection. It's different when you're watching things on like maybe like on Facebook like this, or you're on like you're watching things on the TV like the news, or you're watching like a program or something. But when you're like there at the conference, you actually get to go up to the booths. You get to meet the people who are doing the work. You get to have them show you things. You get to try things. It's a whole experience at every single booth. It's not a bunch of people who are just like trying to sell you stuff. These are people who have really invested their time and their efforts, their energy, their talents, their investment, because they want to be able to help people with what it is that they do. At this Pocatello conference, we have some really unique people who will be in our exhibit hall and in the vendor hall. You could literally spend the entire day just in the vendor area. You've got things like sound baths. You've got neurofeedback, hypnotherapy. There'll be people there that'll be offering foot zones. So if you've never tried a foot zone, you've never, had the opportunity to do that, I'm so excited to be able to have that there as well. We have some other things that are going to be happening at this conference as well. We have people who are doing chakra balancing. We have people there who are selling their books, so you can come, you can go home, you can learn more about it there, after the fact as well. So you can get these complimentary photobiomodulation light patches. You can also sign up for a free light therapy session there at the conference. We have some other things. We have crystals and gemstones that will be offered there. Amy Winsett will be there doing sessions. We've got Rocky Mountain Brain Integration will be there. Crystal Borup from Soulful Living will be there. Strong Monarch will be there with her thermal imagery. There's just so many fun, unique things that you may not have been able to learn about, but you can take some time out of your day on Saturday, October 8th, and come and mingle and be with people who are interested in things like you. And it is just going to be awesome. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to seeing people there. I myself am going to be offering some short 20-minute chakra sessions. So if you are interested in that and you'd like to come and try that out, I will also be doing some really cool things in the lobby area. And so I'm excited. I can't wait to see you guys all there. We do have people travel in from out of state at this Pocatello conference. We have sold out 4 times that we've been there. And we have been able to offer things like this, like what I'm talking about, in classes and in person in the vendor hall. People can come in and even just check it out and see what feels good to them. Pocatello is so funny. They showed up with a news crew and they said, this is the biggest thing happening in Pocatello, Idaho. And it's not too far away from my house. It's about an hour and 15-minute north. But we also have people that will come in from Twin Falls, Burley, Jackson Hole, Rexburg, Idaho Falls, all over the place, Evanston, and come in and just join together. And it's going to be so much fun. So that's on October 8th. If you are not able to attend that date, I did want to let you know that we have another date that is now also planned, and that is for November 12th. And that one is going to be in Sandy, Utah at the Miller Conference Center. I'm going to go ahead and put the link down here in the comments. So if that one is maybe going to fit your schedule better, or it's closer to home for you. We have people that also come in from out of state to that one as well. But it's going to be a pretty awesome conference. I'm going to go ahead and put the link up here on the screen so that you can see it. It's also in the comments. If you would like a ticket to either the Pocatello or the Sandy, I am doing free tickets for people who email me directly on our just in my email. So this is my email, tammy@hopehavenevents.com. You can get a pair of tickets for free. You can come as my guest to these awesome events. Some of the same speakers will be there at Pocatello as in Sandy, but not all. And definitely new vendors, totally different experience. And I will tell you what, if you have been to one of our conferences, you know they are not the same. It's not like you go once and then, oh, it's the same thing at the next one. There are different people there, different experiences, different classes, different vendors. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really looking forward to having you guys come to that one as well. Yes, Dr. Harmon will be at the Sandy one as well. And I am so grateful to you, Midge. She's going to be doing a complimentary LifeWave activation patches at the Energy Healing Conference booth. That's now one of my tips to people. When you very first get to the conference, go sign up for some of the things that you have to be on the schedule to get, or you're, basically out of luck. You can't, sign up for them if they're full, right? Go sign up for those, get a light patch, learn more about what it is and how to use it. Definitely stay hydrated, come early. There's like some really good tips there for you. And if you have any questions about the conference as well, please feel free to email me. I am the conference producer. This is my private email. It doesn't go to anyone else. It goes straight to me. And then if you have any other suggestions or thoughts, I'm totally about enhancing the experience for everybody who would like to be there. And enjoy your Labor Day weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks again for being here.